Hi, welcome to episode 322 of your favorite daily podcast, A Couple of Things, a podcast about things. On today's episode, I talk with my friend Simi about a bunch of things, including saying yes to things, being open to opportunities, guarding your heart, and applying yourself. I'm sure you learned a lot from this episode and you enjoy it. Happy listening. Hi, welcome to today's episode. I have a guest, one of my good friends here in the Netherlands. But we actually knew each other before I moved here, but we'll get to that part later. Hi Simi.
Hello, hello. I'm finally here.
Hi. Finally, after months of trying to make this happen, we're finally
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Let's start from there.
My name is Simi. Wait, what do I usually like? Do I have to talk about work or just who am I?
You can talk about anything you want to talk about, however you choose to introduce yourself, whether you want to use
Okay,
work or something else.
okay. Well, my name is Simi. I live here in the Netherlands. I live in Amsterdam. I've been here for a little over 2 years now, which is wild because I can't believe time has flown by that fast. Um, that's me. What do I work here in the Netherlands for a tech company. I also run my own community called the SQL Tribe. So I love data. I work with data. I'm Christian. I love Jesus. I like to chill. I have a cat. That's my own child right now. I think that's my entire personality. I guess I love to work out. Maybe that's the other personality I have. I'm obsessed about physical activities. I don't know why, but yeah.
Okay. Do you want to add anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. Okay. There's a few things that I want to dig a little deeper in your intro. But before we do that, how do we know each other?
How do we know each other? So I think the first time I heard of you was because of your husband. I think
This is
because
the
I knew.
first. This is the
Yeah,
first
because I
in the
think
history of things.
yeah, because knew him through like another close friend because we all worked at the same place, but I'd left the company just before he joined, or there was like a slight overlap. But I had another close friend that was still there, so she knew him, and then I knew he was dating somebody, and it was you. But like I think I just knew of you until
Yeah.
I think it was because of Ezra. Then I think I saw you around Ezra. So I think because of then I think I started being around you more because like we go to Ezra's house in Ikeja, and that's
Yeah.
Ikeja in Lagos in Nigeria. And so Ezra's always bringing everyone around somehow, some way. So
Yeah.
you get to know other people. So I think that's when I started
Yeah.
to know of you. But I don't think we really talked much, but more very casual
Mm-hmm.
interactions here and there until we moved to the Netherlands, which makes sense to be
Mm-hmm.
honest because we're not a lot here,
Yeah.
so everyone starts to bond a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And interestingly, the first time that we met here was at your birthday, I think.
yes, and yeah, two Decembers ago. Yeah,
Yeah. But the funny thing, why I said that that's a first, because everybody usually knows my husband through me. So like
yes,
this is like one of the very few scenarios where it's like, oh, I have a friend that I met because of him.
yeah,
Or kind
yeah.
of sort
Well, but
of
to be fair,
through
it wasn't
him.
because of him though. It was more
Yeah,
Ezra.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like yeah, actually it was
I
more
knew
Ezra, but
of the
like exactly.
yeah.
Like usually I'm the first introduction that he has to other people, but this is like the reverse.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I
I don't
get
know if
what
I
you
said that
mean.
correctly, but
I get what you
that's
mean.
what
Like,
I
yeah, I get what you mean.
mean. um, but yeah, okay, yeah, that yeah. Actually, I think like most of the credits will go to Ezra because it was mostly in
Yeah,
his house that we met a lot.
yeah.
Okay, so that's how we met. The other opening question, which is the final opening question, and then we just go from here, is what's on your mind today?
What's on my mind? I think I've well, I was having a good day for the most part. But I guess I've just been reflecting on life this evening because I got some not great news. Well, not not me, but my sister had like heard news that if she lost a friend, which is and it's the younger my youngest sister. So it's just it was yeah. It's I don't even want to, it's a bit. So I think I just feel sad
Yeah.
about hearing that because it was also
I'm
such a
so sorry
very
for your loss.
oh well thank you. It's not me, but yeah, but thanks. I think it was just very avoidable. I think that sort of yeah made my evening a bit sad. Yeah, and I was watching The Office Australia, so
Mm.
I don't know. It's also interesting because I love The Office, and now I'm watching the Australian version, which is
I didn't know there was the Australian version.
I just randomly saw it on Prime. I hate love it because it sort of twisted it where the boss is a woman. Then
Oh,
they did like a switcheroo that I but because it's The Office, I'm still like I'm gonna watch it because it's still around the same premise, right?
yeah,
So it's still a bit funny for sure. But I think yeah, I think I just feel reflective. It's just like life is fleeting. You talk to your friend the day before, and now she's no longer here, and
yeah,
yeah. So I think yeah, that's what's on my mind.
yeah. Okay. I mean, there's nothing that makes you reflect more on life than someone's passing on, especially when it's someone who's kind of close to you or lives
Yeah,
close to you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. I wanted to ask about something that you mentioned earlier about, like in your intro. You said that you're obsessed with physical activities. So, what physical activities are you into?
Right now it's still very much CrossFit. So I've been doing that for a few months. I think it's like maybe six. I think I started in April this year. Um, and so far I'm still like loving it, and
Mm,
I'm getting stronger. So I think it's definitely motivation for me. But I've done a lot of tried a lot of different activities in the past, and I'm
yeah.
always like think like oh I wanted to try this one too. Like I've done kickboxing. I still have boxing gloves in my house because I went through a phase where I was into kickboxing. I went through a whole Pilates phase too. I went through a whole dancing and workout phase. So the next one on my list is I want to maybe try calisthenics and
Yeah.
I've also done spinning before when I was in Lagos, so I've done so
I
many.
feel like spinning is an invention by the devil. I don't, I
Yeah,
don't, I did one spinning
it
class
can be
and I was like,
fun.
yeah, nah.
It can be fun. Depends. But
Mm.
yeah, yeah, I think so right now I've done swimming too, which I guess that one is more to learn, but I've not finished it. I think CrossFit is the only one that I've stuck with the longest so far. So that says something, because I'm the kind of person to pick up a hobby and be obsessed with it for like 1 month and then give up. So
And
I've
you then
stayed
you do something
and
else.
then I'll be like, oh no, I want to do something because I also want to do bouldering. That's also on my list.
Oh, I did bouldering once. It was very hectic on my upper body, but it was so much fun.
I really want to do it. So yeah, I like to move my body and oh I also like I mean we did the whole running thing too this year.
Yeah, the damn
We
tot
did the
damn
eight
thing.
kilometer
Have
run.
you got to have you run since then?
I tried running last week and it was super cold. And I still actually did like 2 kilometers, but that's nothing.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
quite cold. Ah, two
freezing.
kilometers is not nothing, oh.
I
It's two
was
kilometers more than zero.
Yeah, but I really do want to keep running. But I think I just need a goal to work towards because also running in this school, if I have a goal, it's easier for me to keep doing the thing. Especially running, which I don't love. I don't particularly like it. So yeah, but I really want to do more running also next year. So I know I'll still continue with it.
Yeah. I think like the thing of finding the thing that you stick with is very important because like everybody's just talking about oh moving, 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 and which is important, but then everybody tries to make you do one specific type of moving or like this is the best type of moving. So either run or lift weights or whatever, which is all great things. But
Yeah,
then most people won't stick to it until they find the thing that they actually enjoy doing. And like how you're talking about CrossFit is how boxing is for me, which is very surprising because it had never been on my radar. It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I want to do boxing. But I just went to a class once and I was like, oh, I like this. And I kept going. And I've been going for a couple of months now. And what you were saying also about like how you can feel yourself getting stronger and see like how you're building your endurance in certain ways. And it's really cool to actually see that happening with your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. And I think the thing about CrossFit for me is also because it's very varied. So you're not like you don't even have the chance to get bored because you come this week it could be you even running like you run in CrossFit and like I hate it but like I have to do it because like the coach is just like there's no I don't want to, no, there's no I don't want to, unless you're like fainting. It's like do a
Yeah.
lesser version but you have to keep moving the entire class. And there are many times I go and I'm just like, God, I'm so tired because I go early in the morning on some days and I'm like, I don't want to be here, but okay, I'm gonna do this. And at the end of the class, I'm like happy I came. So it's very different. So I don't get bored, and that's why I really like it.
Yeah. It's really important to just find what you like, and because every time literally today I had to follow unfollow a fitness person that I followed because I just realized that all their videos were all about if you're doing this you're wasting your time, and this being either some running or boxing or like anything that is not weightlifting. They just were like if you're doing this
Mm,
you're wasting your time, and I was like nope, bye, I can't do.
yeah.
Mm, this
Yeah.
is not what I need.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I was saying that I think that when I did that 8 kilometer run, because I'd never done one, I actually think the endurance I built from CrossFit is what helped me because you do a mix of like a lot of strength and a lot of cardio. Like you do the biking thing, you do like skiing thing, you do
Exactly.
running. So unknowingly, I've also built endurance over time. That now I'm in class
Yeah.
and on days where I have energy, I'm like I'm doing more workouts after the class is even done. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Because like even everybody's always like, oh, you can't really build muscle if you're not doing lifting weights, which I mean, like you should. Like lifting weights definitely helps you with building muscle, but not everybody wants to build muscle. For one, for two, I can actually see that I have stronger biceps since I started doing boxing classes. Like,
yeah,
and I'm not lifting. So, like, different things
yeah.
work for different people, and different people's bodies are different. And it's just important to find what you actually enjoy. Because
I
I think that the
agree.
problem, or a problem that I have with this, like, oh, you must do this, you must do that, especially in the beginning, is that most people are, first of all, not motivated enough to actually do physical activities. And if somebody does one thing, let's just encourage them to do that one thing first before you start talking about all the other things.
I agree. And I also think that sometimes like the intention going into when you want to start doing something matters. Like I think yeah, we some it's people want to work out to lose weight and I think especially if this like, if health whatever and all of those things. I think yes, that's important. And this is me also going through that and I'm like, oh I really want to lose it. Let me try this, blah blah blah. And not like I'm even big, so I don't know what my problem is. But it's just but like I realized over time and it's still like constant work where it's like it's by the time you take that out of your mind and you actually just focus on like enjoying this because then you also don't get disappointed if you don't immediately see the results that you want, but you just focus on
Mm.
getting stronger and faster. You start to enjoy it more because then my own benchmark in my head now for when I'm working out is not, oh, are my clothes getting looser or is my waist getting smaller? No, it is the PRs I'm eating. I'm
Mm.
like very happy. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I did this. Like those are my goals. While on the other end, I'm then trying to clean up my diet a bit, but it's just like if I want to eat ice cream, I'm eating
Yeah.
ice cream, right? I'm also not going to like
Girl.
suffer. I'm like,
I'm
please,
not
I'm
eating
working out so I
cauliflower
can.
rice. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
because I'm also like, I mean, I'm working out so I can eat, but like, so I want to also enjoy this life. It's not about suffering, but when I'm in the space to eat healthy, I try to always go for the healthier options, right? So it's
Yeah.
just like about finding the balance. If I don't want to be skinny, so that's never been my goal. But like my goal now is to some people that you look at them and you see that this person works out. That's my goal. I don't know how that will look like. But it's not about me. I just want to be buff. Like I want to be toned. Like she works out. That's my goal.
Yeah. I think for me, like what you were saying about the having a more like a different motivation is, for me, it's like the thing that made me happiest in the past week was that I did 15 push-ups.
Wow,
I'm
wow! I
like,
can't even do 15 full push-ups.
and I think at the beginning of this year I could only do knee push-ups. That's where I was, and I could not even do
Wow!
15. I could not do 15 knee push-ups.
I can't even do 15 full push-ups.
So I did 15 full push-ups and I was so proud of myself. I was so happy because
Wow!
it's just like, oh, my boxing classes, all these things I'm doing is actually like I'm improving. I'm doing
Yes,
better than I did before. Now I've not
yes.
done the 50 push-ups again yet since then, but that's
But
up to
you always have that.
exactly. And it just means that I can do it again. That's what
Yes,
it means. And I can do it
yes,
better even. Maybe next I'm talking about 20. But anyway,
yes,
that's the point. Like just seeing your body do things that you could not do before is
yes. Like
amazing.
I remember, like the first time I ever tried to bench press. So which is basically pushing the barbell above you, just the bar, and I'm like, I was like, so I will be struggling, and my hands will be shaking. And it's the same me that did for 7.5 on Saturday. I'm like, who am I? Who do I think I
Right.
am? So I think, yeah, for me that's what it really makes it very exciting for me, and I know
Yeah.
my, like, and my body feels good. I think that's like the important thing.
Exactly.
Like you feel healthy, you feel good, you feel strong, and it's not even just about being able to, like, being in the gym. As a single girl, I need to be able to lift things. Like I lifted a whole 3 seat sofa from upstairs to the garage by myself, and that's because
Wow.
I work out. So I have the end. I can do, like, I lift it. So there are heavy things I can now lift by myself. I
Lifts,
mean,
right,
obviously, if I
exactly.
had a man in the house, I'm weak. Please, I can't lift it. But I don't have a choice than to lift my stuff.
But
So that
yeah,
helps too.
it's really amazing. But anyway, okay. Is there anything else on your mind?
Um, no, I'm just excited about Christmas. I think that's like the only
Yes.
thing
Do you have plans?
yeah, I guess, I don't know. Just spend time with people. I mean, that's the season where what it's about, right? About
Yeah.
spending time and maybe do a little trip. But yeah, I think that's it. I have my Christmas tree up. I'm going to watch a lot of shitty romantic, yeah, romantic Christmas movies. But yeah, I'm excited about it because also my birthday, so
Yeah.
it's and it's also an
Yeah.
exciting
I'm still
birthday.
trying. Yeah. Are you traveling or doing anything fun?
Yeah, I think I'm going to travel.
Mm,
I'm going to
okay.
travel for it.
Nice, nice. So you talked about SQL tribe. What's
Yeah.
SQL tribe about?
Oh, it's like
And
a
where did it come from?
oh, where did it come from? So SQL tribe is I think an SQL is a data language, or yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'll call it like a language, a coding language, but mostly for data, to be able to, like, analyze data and well, analyze, store, read data. And it started in 2020, I believe, or 2021. I think it was 2021. But it was
Mm-hmm.
more because I was teaching people SQL in 2020, and it was just like an aftermath from that to say, all of these people that I'm teaching, they're just going off on their own. It would be good to just build something where people can connect and, like, continue to learn apart from the classes that I've taught them, and connect with other people who are also on the same journey with them. And I like communities. I'm such a big community person. I think everywhere I go, I'm always trying to. In my current company, I've tried to form like three different communities. I think that just I'm always like, I think there's just like a lot of advantages of communities. I don't fully run the community by myself, to be honest. I have someone who runs it for me because I genuinely don't have the
Mm.
time. That's just the truth. But we do a lot of really cool stuff like mentorship, free classes. Yeah, I think we do really cool stuff, and we have so many people that are joining and they're learning and, connecting. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a thing of pride, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really great thing that you're doing there. And I'm also like I love a good community. I'm very pro community for just how it has helped, not just even from a career perspective, but just from a personal my life. A lot of my friends come from communities that I've been a part of,
Yeah,
and yeah, I think it's really great work. Um,
I
so how did you
agree.
become a data? How did you become a person who works with data? Because that's how you you did the introduction.
Um, it's a very good question. I think it started from when I was in my first job. I mean, I studied computer science in school, so people assume automatically, yeah, it makes sense. No, not really. I didn't learn anything in school. I
You
hated
study
it.
computer science?
Yes, I studied computer science.
I didn't know that.
But now you know. But I didn't like it, and I thought I was not going to work in tech or have anything to do with tech. My plan was to work in fashion, and that was my first job out of school, working in a fashion or after NYSC, obviously. Um, Anyways, but somehow I found myself in a business analyst role at a tech division of a bank, and that was
Mm-hmm.
where I first of all came across SQL, because like I was seeing like, oh, they're writing these things to understand applications and things like that. I don't know, but it really struck my interest, and because I had like a fake database to work with, or a test database I could work with,
Mm.
I think that really helped. And I was just like testing, and then I remember I was using this. I don't know if it was W3. So there was a website I remember I used at first to like learn, and ideally when you join the company you're supposed to take a professional certification when you hit the 3 month mark to get like approved or something like that. So many people were doing like
Ah, okay.
other, I don't know, certifications, but I was like, I like SQL, so I'm just going to take a certification in SQL, and that was sort of where the journey began. And I was just like, oh,
Mm.
every time I had to do a task that had to do with like data, I was always very excited. Um,
Mm.
and then when I moved to my next company, even though it was not like in a data role, but I noticed that, oh, it was so small and it was a startup, and there were like people there were not enough people to help get data out of the database, and I was like, oh, I know some SQL. If you guys need help, if you give me access, I can get I can get data for you. And I think that was really what changed things for me in many ways, because people then started coming to me with harder questions, and in the process of trying to like figure out how to get the answers that they needed, I was also learning. And so I always go to someone that I knew more than me to say, okay, like if someone comes to me and say I need this data, even if I don't know, I'll not say no. I just be like, okay, I'll get it for you. Then I'll go and with somebody else that, please come and teach me, how do I
Yeah.
do this thing? And then I would
I love
and I'll
that.
and I'll like save the query somewhere else. I had like a query repository, so that if somebody else came to me with that same question, I could just like pick the query and tweak it and things like that. And that's was just how I continue to like get better and get better and get better. And um yeah, I just always like try to like so even when I got company got bigger and I was in like a accounts data team, I was like, I'll be the data person for the team. I'll write all the queries. Like I was on maintaining building dashboards that nobody sent me. So that's how I really like grew into it over time, and just finally found my way into data, and here I
Something
am.
I like from what you said is just like, oh, somebody asks you about something and you're like, sure, 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 then you gotta learn how to do it. And I think
Yeah.
that is such a great way to learn things and to grow, and even not just even from a professional or in your work point of view, like with anything really. So my friend asked me to make her husband's birthday cake, and I was like, sure, I can make it. Me that I've not made anybody birthday cake before.
You go and use
And then
YouTube.
by force by fire, I learned how to do frosting. No, I learned how to do cake
Yeah.
frosting by force.
Yeah, I feel like
And
it's
so
always good
like
to
it's just
try.
exactly to open yourself up to things and just
Yeah.
try new things, even if it may seem scary. I mean, I feel like you can learn anything. I mean, if somebody asked me to come and build a bridge, I won't say yes to that.
Yeah, and I feel like even
But
when I moved to my current company, and most of my experience has been with SQL. Python I learned a little because I did like a postgraduate online diploma in data science and business analytics. But when
yeah.
I joined the company, my Python experience wasn't like a lot. And I remember someone said, "Oh,
Mm.
I had to build an ETL," and I was first like, "What's even an ETL?" I think I'm like basically like an extract, transform, load function to basically move
Yeah.
data from one place to the next. I had never built an ETL in my life, and I was alone. I was not in the data team. And I think this goes back to that thing of you need to be able to like humble yourself and go and meet people and say,
Mm.
I don't know, can you help me? And that's literally what I had to do. I would literally go to another office where I knew a lot of data people were and just sit down. I was going to sit down there and I'd be looking at their computer and I see
Mm.
somebody that is doing something that looks like Python. I'll just go and meet them. Hello. Um, I was wondering if you can. No, that's literally what I did. I would just go and sit down with
Yeah.
them. And you'll be surprised how much people are willing to help if you're just willing to go and be like, hey, I need help with this. And a lot like some of the engineers or people that spoke to them, they see me now and I'm leading the data team and they're like, wow, Simi, I remember like your early days, you really suffered. I'm like,
Yeah.
I did suffer, but it was such a learning experience for me because then because I literally had to, it wasn't just about building an ETL, it was like I had to set up the entire app for my team, and like those were things that were like super advanced that I had to kick off at the beginning, and no one is going to unhold you because you're a professional. I came in as at a mid level, so it's like figure it out.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
but the thing now is that because I went through that process, I can help other people figure it. I can help my team figure it out because I have all of that experience, and I've built so
Yeah.
many TLs that I can't even build it in my sleep at this point. Like just give me the code. So yeah, it's yeah, you have to be willing to just I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think it's just
That's
like be
okay.
open yourself to challenges, right? Things you've
Yes.
never done before. There's always a first time that you do something you've never
Yeah.
done before, but then you eventually do it at some point, and then now it becomes a thing that you know and you've learned and you know how to do, and nobody can actually take that from you because
Yeah.
even though it doesn't, I think that I also am very careful about like, oh, it's great for your career progression or whatever, but even though it doesn't lead to anything in the moment, like everything you learn leads up to something for you, for
Yeah.
yourself as a person.
Yes, I always say like there's no lost experience. The experience I had working in fashion, the experience I had working all of my different
You
roles.
worked in
It
fashion.
yes, I worked as a fashion designer. I yes
Oh.
for like one company in Lekki. I was in the market so many times, which is why I can go to flea market now and spend 4 hours easy, and I'm not even tired. But like even going back to what we're saying about just trying, like so even now leading the data team, I know nothing about leading the data team, but I'm just like I'm
Yet.
gonna try it and I'm gonna do it,
You
and
don't know
and I
yet. You will
yeah,
know
and
soon.
I think the thing is also because I have led things in the past, so I'm like, okay, I know I'm capable of doing this, but also because
Exactly.
I'm used to getting thrown into things I don't know how to do and figuring it out. So I think that's one of my biggest strengths. Throw me into the deep end. That's where I thrive.
Mm,
Just throw me in and let me see. I can sink, oh, but I will swim eventually, right? Because I will
yeah.
always go and meet people that know more than me and say, "Hey, teach me. How do you do this thing?" And people will always remember that and always want to help you.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Like, I like what you said about like I've led teams before. So even if you've not led a data team, you've done some leading, so you can lean on that and also
Yeah,
still learn the new things that you need for this specific context. So yeah, like you said, like no experience is lost or unimportant. It doesn't matter what it is
yeah.
at all. Okay.
And I always say I'm
Mm.
the first daughter
Anything.
I'm the first daughter in a Nigerian family, so I was born a leader.
Girl, I feel you. I feel that. But yeah, it's like just being open to new things within reason, I guess, and not like I feel like like as a person, your first instinct shouldn't always be I don't know, I can't do it to everything. It's like
Um,
be explore, be willing to try new things, be willing
sometimes
to
I
do
think that's
something you've not done.
sometimes I think that also can be a problem of mine because I think I always say yes to everything.
Well, that's a different side. That's the flip
Because
side.
then if you ask me, oh, see, I mean, with work, I've learned over time and with experience to be like, I would like to do this, but I can't take this on right now.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like opportunities, if you say, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, sure. I'm
Yeah, but
always
I
like,
think it's
sure.
important, especially when you're earlier in your career. It's very, very important to be willing to say yes to almost anything. Like, not,
Yeah.
well, not almost anything, but you get you get what I
Yeah,
mean.
I get what
But
you mean. Yeah.
like, be willing to say yes to most things and
And I
to
think
explore more things.
another thing is like people there's also this thing about people wanting to be like, I'm in this role, so I'm going to stick to the work that falls within my
Exactly.
scope. If there's anything outside of my scope, I don't want to do it. Like, it's not my problem, it's not my business. I understand why people can feel that way because the people can definitely take advantage of it, but I don't agree with it. And I think that's what has always really helped me thrive in my career. Like, I never believed that I should only do my job and what I'm paid to do and let it end there. I
Yeah.
I would always do more. And the truth is that nobody will give you more responsibilities if you don't see that you have the capacity to do more.
Yeah.
So even me leading a team now, it was because I've been doing similar work aside my actual data work. And some people were
Mm.
like, oh, but this work that you're doing is not your job. Like, why are you doing it? But I was just like, this is an opportunity where there is a gap to be filled and there's work to be done. Why not do it and learn from it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay if I didn't get the leadership role or not. For me, it was still
Yep.
a learning experience, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, to follow up on what you said, because I think that there's a way in which we've talked about, or like people have talked about, showing up at work that is all about, like, oh, getting the next role or getting the promotion or getting the thing, because but in reality that doesn't always happen. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the time you're not going to get the additional thing on top. So at the end of the day, and I actually tweeted this today, that hard work is the point of hard work is not the result or the outcome or whatever thing that they have told you you will get at the end of it, whether explicitly or implicitly. The point of hard work is the person that you are and the person that you're
Yep.
becoming through
Yes.
the effort that you're putting in, and showing
Yes.
yourself that you can actually do new things, you can do hard things, you can do difficult things. That's the point.
Yes.
So
And
it's really about who you're becoming through that.
I always tell people that don't assume that whatever work that you're doing is just for the company or I don't want to do this for
Exactly.
them. You're doing it for yourself. You're the one learning. You're the one with the experience, not the company. Yes, the
Exactly.
company can benefit from it, from the work that you're doing, but I always say that it's me first. It's actually about me. It's not about them.
I'm
So
doing what's
all
best
this
for me.
Yeah, I'm doing what's best for me. So that's the thing. And I think in all of this, it's very important to enjoy what you do. So I do enjoy the work that I do. And so this is not me like suffering. And if
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying it, I won't do it. That's just I also don't do things I don't like to do. I would just be like,
Exactly.
it's not for me, right? I tried data science, I hate it, I'm not doing. So yeah, like I'm intentional about that, but it's just like sometimes I think because sometimes when you also work in a company, you listen to all the noise and all the people complaining, it tends to drag the morale down, and then you feel like,
Mm-hmm.
well, if everybody feels this way, why am I even putting in the effort? But I'm just like, it's not about them, because me, I'll take the experience and go take it somewhere else and go and make more money. That's my own. So whatever
Exactly. Do you
noise
get?
that is happening in the background, I don't actually care that much.
Yeah, it's really important to have that perspective and to find that balance, because, like, me, for example, I hate visual design. So when it comes to UX design, I do all the work. I've stepped into few product manager gap in a company before, in two roles actually that I've been in UX researcher role. I've stepped into do product manager work because either product manager was on long-term leave, or there was something that needed to be done and nobody had capacity for it, because I wanted to explore that. It was something I was actually curious about. If I wasn't curious about it, if I wasn't interested, I probably would not have, or I might
Mm,
have just done it from me, like, because my thing is also like try everything as much as
yeah.
possible within reason. So I might have still done it. And there are times where I'd had to do visual design, and every time I did it, I was like, I hate this, I don't want to do this in my Will I do it if I absolutely have to? Yes. But do I want to be doing it in my day to day work? No. And that's
Yeah.
what those experiences did for me. There was no bonus or promotion or any money or anything that came out of doing those things, because I
Yeah.
realized that some of those things are not things I want to actually keep doing. And that was
Yeah.
what I learned from it. So it wasn't a waste. Although, and I did develop some skills that I'm using and applying to other things. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really about that. It was about doing what was best for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people, and also maintaining that balance between, like, there is a balance in taking care of yourself and knowing when to say no to things and being able to prioritize and plan yourself so that you're not overstretched all the time, because inevitably there'll be times where you're overstretched.
Yeah.
But if you're overstretched all the time, there's a problem.
Yeah. And I always like I talk to a lot of people that, maybe early on their career, like at work, I mentor a few people here and there, or people that just like have questions for me because they're just also wondering I've navigated my career. And I always say like, if you ask me 2 years from now, that to me, where do you see yourself? I 100% don't know.
Girl,
Because if
I
you had
don't know.
asked me last year, I did not see myself leading a team this year. Like it
Yeah.
was just like, okay, at some point I want to do it. And if you had asked me 4 years ago, I don't know if I'll have said I want to be in the data role safe. Like I think one thing I've always, and I think this is not, I can't give credit to myself. Obviously, God just also directing my path.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just about, I've just been going with the flow, frankly. So if if something pops up, I think that at some point I wanted to be a the product designer. I took some few courses. I was like, nope, hate this, drop it. There's so many. So like now, like I can say, okay, yes, I'm doing 18, but I'm 8 years plus into my career. So I've
Yeah.
had time to like try different things and figure things out. And now I can say, okay, one thing I know that has been consistent throughout my career is that I like data. In whatever way or form I get to work with data, I want to stay around data. So
Yeah.
for me, even when I said, okay, I want to lead, I was very clear that I want to lead in data, not outside of
Yeah.
data. So I think it's I think many people earlier they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just like, and I'm sure like in 10 years from now, I could be in a totally different place and be like, okay, I don't want anything to do with data. I don't want anything to do with this, and I'm doing something else. And it's just been able to surrender and allow yourself to just evolve and just let life surprise you and see where it takes you. And I think it's so fun, just like going through all of these different paths, right?
Yeah, I get that. Like what you really said about what you just said about like not really knowing the plan is so true, because people have been asking me, "Oh, so what are you going to do when you finish your masters?" I'm like, I don't know. I I absolutely do not know. Are there things that I would like to explore? Yes. Do I have some ideas of what I might want to do? Definitely. But do I know for sure what I will be doing in a year? I have zero clue at all. But
Mm.
yeah, this was a great conversation. Is there anything else you want to add?
Um, Let me think. I guess, you know, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. What do I want to add? Um, I guess we said a lot already, so we can talk about the highlights and be like, do this, you figure it out eventually and things like that. But it doesn't mean like it's not hard, and there will also be like maybe not. I don't want to say people in your way, but there are so many things that also people like
Yeah,
life
there'll be
happens.
obstacles, definitely.
There's always going to be obstacles and hard things, but I think for me, I think the core of who I am, I try to stay happy and optimistic regardless of whatever it is that is going on. I'm very, very intentional about protecting my space, protecting my peace, protecting my mind,
Mm,
and that includes so many things. The kind of content that I consume, um, the kind of music that I listen to, the kind of movies that I watch, the kind of people that I also keep around in my circle. For me, I feel like all of these things, it really does affect how your view of life and how you just navigate life. So I think, and it's a constant auditing process that I think people should. always do. Just like, why, for example, now just be on Instagram. Like, with why am I following this person again? I just click on
See,
follow.
so
I just do that.
important.
I just do that. Just click on follow immediately. Like, easy, because if I see this person's page and I'm angry or I feel some, I'm just like, there's no need. No,
Yeah,
or
it's
I'm
time to go.
irritated. I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, then there's no need for me to be exposed to this content. The time I was always following gossip blogs and all of this, I'm just like, this thing is not even my life anyway. What's the point? I just
It's
unfollow
not
all of them.
edifying, it's not improving, it's not doing anything.
News, I'm like, I don't want to know what's going on in the world. I unfollow everything. I don't want to know. If it's important, it will filter its
Girl,
way down to me some way, somehow. Because I just realized that you're having anxiety, you're worried about all of these different things.
so many
Right.
things that you can
And
do nothing about.
yeah, so I think that helps me also just like give focus to myself and my work, and it just makes your, because if you're in a good headspace, you can be a better contributor in whatever space that you're in. So I think that's something that's maybe I want to I want to leave here.
Yeah, that's really, really great thing to wrap it up with. But I just remember there was a tweet that I watched a video today, and the person, they said something that really stuck with me, is that you can't control outcomes. You can only control your processes in,
Yeah,
so which is what we were saying about, like, it's not really about the, or the promotion or the raise or the whatever. Those things are great and you should actually go for them where you can, but it's not really about that. Is who you're becoming through that process of doing the work and
yeah,
applying yourself, basically. And yeah,
yeah,
definitely filter what you let in, because that is very important for your mental state and what you
yeah.
actually do. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Do you want people to find you on the internet or connect with you on the internet? And where can they do that if yes?
I guess Instagram is fine. The SQL babe.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
would say
I'll
Twitter,
put the
but
link
I
in the show
have
notes.
not been on Twitter in a long time. This is also part of my filtering, like, things that I consume. TikTok, I've been off TikTok the whole year, so this also goes down to filtering the things that I
Yeah.
consume. So I only have Instagram, LinkedIn, and then I go on Snapchat because I'm doing a Snapchat streak with my friend, but not because I use it to do anything else. Um, but yeah. So Instagram, the SQL babe. That's where you can find me.
Cool. Yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes as well. Thank you so much. This was great. And thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful, or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.